Alright guys, we're back at it again. You know the deal. Alright, so I already got this spring pulled out of the blow-off valve. Did that a little bit ago, actually the other day. But yeah, we got the new spring here. I think it was $9 plus $3 shipping. I don't even know the tax. Let's say it was $15. It was another eBay purchase. Sorry, I ain't got my phone, or I can show you the listing, but yeah. Yeah, this is supposed to be a 12 PSI spring because my intake manifold vacuum is, I think it's like 22, something like that, 24, 21, 24. So this was the proper one they were saying. I could have did an 11 or a 12. I went with 12. It's a little bit bigger just to be on the safe side because I was looking at my gauge. Sometimes it says like 22 and then also kind of looks like it's saying 24. So I figure the one extra pound ain't gonna really hurt nothing. But yeah, these were the other two. That was a 10 pound. Oh no, wait, that was a 35 PSI, and then this was, I think, a 7 or a 10. I don't know, as flimsy as this is, I'm pretty sure it's a 7. Man, I literally crushed this with just my fingers here. This one, yeah, really stiff. And then this one's pretty actually stiff too, damn. Actually, that one feels as stiff as this one. Well, I hope it works regardless. If it doesn't, I don't know, I might take a saw and I don't know, maybe I'll just chop a little off and then try to bend a piece of this down a little further so it's more flat, you know, like the end here. But yeah, let's throw it in and see what happens. I took this thing apart 3 times already, so I'm just gonna put a small amount of grease on this little shaft here just to, you know, make sure it's lubricated properly so when it's going up and down, don't get binded up or hung up or anything like that. So I'm playing around with the spring. I haven't even put it in yet, but I'm just playing around with the tension on it, and I'm just squeezing it like this. And man, this thing is stiff as hell. And they said this is a 12 PSI spring. Now here was the thicker one that I put in that's supposedly a 35 PSI spring. And this pink one that's supposed to be a 12 PSI has way more tension on it than the 35 PSI supposable one that I got with the blow-off valve. So I really don't think this is gonna work. I really don't. I mean, and it's a tad bit, I mean, it ain't much taller, but I'm sure it's gonna fit in there. But yeah, that's absolutely crazy. I really don't think, I mean, we're gonna throw it in, but I don't think so. We back at it. But yesterday we got that spring in there, so that's all set. So one of the next steps I'd like to do is an oil flow test to see how much oil is actually flowing through the turbos. So I'm heading up to the hardware store now, and I'm gonna grab me some stuff so we can try to figure out if the turbos actually get enough oil going through it. All right, I'll catch y'all when I get back. So a water pump swap out, and a day later, I'm back at it again. Yeah, got her outside up on the jack. Yeah, buddy stopped by yesterday, swapped out his water pump on his Dodge Ram. Yeah, I was wanting to make a tutorial video on that, but I don't know. Usually when I make these videos, I kind of plan out exactly what I'm doing, get my mindset straight while I'm doing it, and then, you know, give me a day or so. But yeah, he kind of showed up on the whim, wanted me to replace it. I tried to make a tutorial video about it, but yeah, I just wasn't feeling it because I didn't have enough time to plan out and kind of see exactly what I had to do, so it kind of made it hard on me. So I kind of scrapped that video, but we're back at it, getting this done. So yeah, I went up to the actually the hardware store, and pretty much to do this test, I just got this clear tube, and I got the extra fittings that came with my drain tubes, hoses, and kit. So we're gonna cut this hose to the length we need it, put these fittings on, hook it up to the return down to the oil pan, and start her up and see how much oil is actually flowing out of the turbo back into the oil pan while she's running.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
I think this is all I'm gonna need. Got my my wrench, my razor blade, and that hose. Just got to get the old one off out from under the car, and then measure up how much tube we're gonna need, chop it, put the other end on, and then put it together. Check that out. My connection here is dripping, so either I didn't snug it up all the way or one of the ends here is not good or something. Let's get this line off. See how much oil's sitting in it, if there's any. Hopefully it'll drain down to the pan already. Yeah, pretty much. You just gotta get those two Allen keys off the flange, because I can't unscrew it off the AN fitting because of that one bolt on the housing of the turbo there. We just gotta measure it, cut it, and put it together. Let's do some YouTube magic. Bam! Always wanted magic powers. I finally got them. Oh yeah, finally got it on there. I had to take it off like, I don't know, 5 times. I cut the hose too short, and then I had to take the other half of the hose that I had and swap it out, and then trim that one down slowly so I didn't over trim it. But we finally got it on there, so let's put it down on the ground and yeah, give it a whirl. Got the battery hooked up again. Yeah, I disconnect it every time. But yeah, someone in the comments, I think on the battery relocation video, I was using these damn things to tighten the battery down, screwing the stud in there and then hooking these on and then putting the cables onto there. And they said, why are you doing that? Just get a short bolt and you can screw them right down to the battery. And yeah, dude, I finally ditched that thing because it was getting aggravating. It kept getting loose, and we got us a bolt. So took me a while to listen, but I'm that stubborn type. All right, let's see if this works. Well, it seems like plenty of oil got kicking through there, I feel like. I mean, I just looked at the video, and yeah, I feel like there's plenty of oil going through there. It's still draining through. It's actually only filling the tube up about halfway, it seems like, as it's draining down. It's not totally flooding the tube out, but there's a steady pace of oil, and it's all draining through nicely, it seems like. Turbo's still spinning. That one stopped. Maybe I should do the test on this side as well. That side's, yeah, it's draining good. The warmer it's getting, you can actually see it. It's just running through nice and smoothly. And the turbo is still spinning. Yeah, the driver's side turbo is not spinning, so we're going to pull the hose off the passenger side for the return and put it on the driver's side and see how that one drains. But before we do that, we're going to check out that blow-off valve. Let me set y'all up and we'll see if that's functioning properly. So that spring ain't letting it move at all. It's barely moving. Literally. Like a damn sea hare. But yeah, so we're going to take this spring here, a little bit thicker one that came with it, and we're just going to chop just a little bit off and maybe just one little loop and then see how it works. So that's how much we cut off. And I can't believe I am doing this again. But I guess it's whatever it takes to get it right. I guess I need like a, I don't even know. Maybe that was it. That said it was a 12-pound spring. So maybe I need a 9-pound spring or a 10-pound spring. But if this works, that's it. You know, y'all know how I am. If it works, it's good enough. Jeez. That is a biatch. All right, she's back on. Kind of excited to see if this is going to work, so we're just going to go ahead and try it out real quick. And then we'll get back to the return. Alright, so I guess I screwed up because I really don't know what I'm doing. Again, it's all new to me. I'm just trying to figure it all out. I'm going by everything I see on forum pages and looking up YouTube videos and stuff like that. So now it's staying slightly open when you start it, and then when you hit the gas, it closes. And I'm pretty sure what I read online is it's supposed to stay closed at idle, fully closed, and then, yeah, when you give it gas and let off, and it's supposed to open. So, these are the struggles I go through because I don't really know what the hell I'm doing, and I'm just trying to figure it out as I go along. So I'm pretty sure now that that spring I just cut was perfectly fine because it was opening, but it seemed like it was only opening maybe halfway. But I guess I should have thought, you know, it's not under boost or anything. So, you know, if I was going down the road and getting on it and getting it up to like whatever amount of pounds, it would probably push it open all the way because that extra, you know, airflow going in. But this is the struggle you go through when you're trying to teach yourself things. All right, y'all. I'm going to let the car settle down, let that oil drain back down. Go have me a snack, and then we'll get back at it. All right, so finally got the damn bottom hose on there. And I put the 7 or 10 pound spring, whatever it was, back into there. So it's probably just going to stay open. I just ordered another spring off of eBay. I got me an 11 PSI spring, so hopefully that one works because I messed up the one that was actually working that came with it. But hey, you live and you learn, trial and error. All right, let's start this girl up. See if the second hose is bleeding through good. I can see it rushing right through. No problem. Something's dripping. The hell is that? Is that oil? Never seen it drip anything since I've got it going. Now there's something dripping. Is that power steering fluid? I don't even know. I gotta get under there and look at that shit. No, it's condensation apparently. It's just like water. Is it dripping out of the turbo itself? I don't know, I gotta check that out. And this sucker's draining good. By the time I even get over here around the car after turning it off to look at it, it's already drained all the way out of the tube. So yeah, definitely getting plenty of oil, and they're definitely draining good. So we know that's not the problem. All right, let me put my other... One good thing, though, about me doing this little test was the 1AN fitting at the top up on the turbo, right where it comes out, was loose. So I'm kind of happy I had to do this because I probably wouldn't even have messed with it and probably could have eventually started leaking oil and making a big damn mess. So I'm kind of happy, you know, I got out here and did this in one way. Not happy about that blow-off valve spring, though. Oy. Now you see my intake vacuum where it's at like 22, 23, something like that. I think this gauge is wrong because when you turn it off, it goes just below the 0 instead of in the middle of the 0. So it might be off by a point or 2. That's what I'm thinking anyway, because by this, that 12 pound spring, that 12 PSI spring should have worked. So here. See where it sits? Yeah, it's not sitting on the 0. It's literally sitting a point below the 0. Oh, look, it went up a little when I tapped it, but it's still sitting low. I feel like it should be, you know, in the 0 area, not below it. But we got that 11-pound spring on the way, so hopefully in a few days on the next one we'll be installing another spring, and hopefully that one will be working correctly. Today was great. Had a lot of lawn work to do. Killed a bunch of fire ants. Best way to kill fire ants is take a metal pole, jab it into their middle of their nest, and then soak them with some gasoline. Kills them instantly. Man, I tried all the products that they got out there. I can't say all of them, I'm exaggerating a little there, but yeah, I tried, you know, a handful of them anyway, and it's like they don't even kill them. It's like they're immune to the crap that they make. But I tell you what, gas, instantly. Finito. I had, like, I swear, 20 some odd mounds around my yard. My dogs were stepping in them, I was stepping in them, the wifey was stepping in them. So yeah, we took care of them today, plus the lawn. Alright, so I was just upstairs editing up this video and started reading through the comments, and thank you guys, everybody that is leaving me comments about the build and trying to give me a little insight also on what I'm trying to figure out here. So yeah, the oil flow test went great, successfully, awesomely. Everything is flowing through good, getting back into the pan. I'm so happy about that. Because I was definitely worried about the pitch. When I set the pan up with the tubes coming out of it in the front like that, I was thinking maybe I didn't have enough pitch on it, but hell, this little test proved to me that my pitch is perfect. You know, I guess as long as you got some degree of going downhill with it, you know, in a smooth run, you have no problems. So, again, awesome. Yeah, so somebody left a comment about the wastegates, maybe they're being stuck open, so I actually tried a little test on that too. As you see there, seems like the wastegate's working fine. When it's closed, it's spinning. Like I was saying, as long as the car is up to full temperature, everything's spinning great. I opened the wastegate and it stopped. It slowed down and stopped. I let it go. If you've seen, I stuck my finger in there, spun it a few times, got it going again, and yeah, it was great. Now, what else? Now, I do believe it's just the turbos. Like I said in the last one, I did a lot of research on these turbos, just journal bearing turbos in general. Even the top brands I found, what are they, Garrett, Bog Warner, Precision. Seems like everybody has some sort of issue with these turbos, and at idle, you know, they have a problem spinning. And what it came down to is the AR. Now, I had no clue what AR was and trim was, and yeah, I literally sat around for a half a day or more just researching trim and AR. And I think that's what it is. I think my AR, the AR on that's a point, I think 63. So if I noticed it was actually T04E turbos that I could have got the same exact ones, and they had a .48 AR, and that might be better. And the whole deal with the AR I found is, and this is why it might be better for anybody that doesn't know, and correct me if I'm wrong too, for people that do know. So when the exhaust gas comes through the turbine side of the turbo, you see how the snail shell narrows out going down? And on this side you can see, because it's flipped the other way, how small it gets as it comes around. See how it gets smaller and smaller? And they call that the nozzle. So the .63 AR is how big that nozzle is once it comes around. So I say that's a .63, and if I would get the .48, it would make it smaller. So that means higher pressure exhaust gases are being blown into the turbine, which would make the turbo spin better at idle. That's what I got out of what I've been researching anyway. And somebody in the comments had mentioned, and I was even thinking it myself, that I'm running each one of these turbos on only 3 cylinders. So the amount of exhaust pressure I'm making, it isn't enough to keep the turbo spinning at idle, because one of those turbos is, they say on the listing that I got it from, is to run a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder, just one of them. Now, I took 2 of them and divided them up, you know, the cylinders up with them, so that's pretty much what it is. And like I was saying, if I got the smaller AR, the .48, the nozzle would be smaller, and I would have higher pressure exhaust gases coming through, which would probably keep the turbo spinning at idle. So the only bad thing about these turbos that I got because of that AR is the research said that I wouldn't get into boost as fast. Like, say with the smaller AR, I'd probably get into boost at like 2,000 RPM or so, but with the bigger AR, I might not get into it until like 3,500 RPM. So that's the downside, I think, of it. And again, if I'm wrong, please somebody correct me down in the comments, because again, I'm a noob at all this, and yeah, that's the whole point of this build too, was for me to gain experience in doing this kind of stuff, to learn. And the car was cheap, the parts were cheap, and I wanted to learn. So, you know, I'm hoping to do another build at some point, a real good one. I want to do an LS build in the future, so this is just to prime me up pretty much. But again, the turbos are spinning perfectly fine at idle once the car is completely heated up, you know, up to full temperature. It's only not spinning when I first started up, and it seems like it's more the driver's side than the passenger side. It seems like the passenger side spins, you know, slow, but it don't stop, but the driver's side will stop. And I was also told by somebody that it also could be just the turbos are brand new. I heard there's like a break-in period, you know, once you, I guess, get a couple miles on them, you know, then they'll start freeing up and, you know, get looser, and then it'll probably work just fine, you know, down the road after I get, you know, get it on the road and drive it quite a bit. All right, but that's it for this one. Thanks again, guys, for the comments. Keep them coming. They do help out, you know, it makes me think, and I start going over things. But peace and love, and I'll see y'all in the next one.